experts in the real estate and construction sector so that they can guide us on how to go about the entire industry. Not at all. As well, we want to be taking you through the property trends as always, bringing you what is latest, up-to-date and inclusive on the property market. Not as always. Tonight it's different. We got your story. We got our segment, which is your story. And on your story tonight, we are going to bring you facts from the horse's mouth. We want to guide us. If you're down there, if you are Ugandan, deep in the village somewhere, and you have had hurdles in the real estate or property market, where you had this property and perhaps you had issues to do with land grabbing, perhaps it could be a family member that grabbed your very property that, hey, it could have been given to you through a gift deed by your parents or something. You are at an administrator somewhere, over an estate, and you're trying to grab people's properties. There are very many issues that come with real estate and property. Why? Because this is where the economy dwells, and every other person would love to just grab without working for this property. On the Property Hour tonight, we have a lovely story for you. We have a story way from Kiboga right now where I am, and this story is interesting. Just stay tuned so that you could pick a leaf for yourself, know how to go about these issues. Could you go for mediation, for example? Do you have to run to court every other time? Or you can easily call upon this person, sit on a table and solve these issues. Just stay tuned so that we are going to take you through what you need to hear tonight. Remember, we are proudly powered to you by HK Properties Uganda, a leading condominium development company that has provided with us very many spacious apartments in all areas that are close to the vicinity of Kampala and around the CBD. That is Muyenga, Mutungo, Munyonyo, Entebbe and every other places. Just check out on the screen, look at the website and call in to know how you can obtain your apartment. HK Properties Uganda, that is a leading condominium development company in Uganda that is providing with us spacious apartments ranging from 2, 3 and family units of 4-bedroom apartments. Imagine you're in Muyonga, but you can be able to grab an apartment of 4 bedrooms with your entire family, and you get this apartment through installments. You don't have to pay all the amount of money at once. Just check out on the website on the screen so that you will get to them and inquire how you can obtain this apartment. Something I'm sure of is that even UGX 10 million can be deposited and you start claiming an ownership interest in this apartment. Thanks to HK Properties Uganda that is trying to bridge the gap of housing deficit in Uganda. Stay tuned, do not go away, and we bring you the famous story from Kiboga.
Lulu Residency in Munyonyo is the latest apartmentalized project by HK Properties. This state-of-the-art residency that has stepped the architecture scale in Uganda has 2 to 3 bedroomed apartments at modest rents. Scheduled payments can be arranged to fit your budget. For more information or booking, please call 0758 274 389.
Welcome back to the Property Hour. We promised you that we are going on ground in Kiboga, and here we are. We have our guest today, and he's going to take us through an experience which could guide you as a viewer on how you can go about these land disputes in case it happens to you, a friend or a family member that could need your guidance. You're most welcome, James, to the Property Hour.
Thank you.
Kindly, you can greet a viewer before you can take us through the entire experience.
Greetings to you all UBC viewers. I'm so glad to be here to share my experience.
Thank you, James.
Taiwa James Bamwenda is my name. And I'm a social scientist. I'm a social researcher, an environmental and social impact assessor. I do part-time lecturing with Victoria University. I'm a farmer. So here we are.
Thank you so much, James, and thank you for for your introduction to the viewers. Now we're on ground. James, kindly take us through your story. What dispute exactly did you come into it? But before you take us through the dispute, what are the facts at hand? What happened exactly?
I would say now this is a free land because it is titled and in clear names. This is a family property. What happened was that we had a dispute on this land about 5 years ago. Okay. We have our neighbors in the other part of the land. So they kind of tried to sell their land. So they sourced someone, those rich boys around town, the kids of the rich. Yeah, so he came, paid some money to those our neighbors. I don't know what his intention was because he just paid some small amount. But after paying that money, he now started doing things that we do not understand.
Wait a minute, James, before we go further. Where are we exactly?
Yeah,
Where is
this is Kiboga district, Bukomero sub-county, and this place is called Chibanda, in a cell called Chibanda.
Chibanda cell.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and this particular area is called Luzinga. So, our neighbors, whom we also sold part of our
So
land.
these neighbors had initially bought from you?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, and the problem was that this land had some extension of a wetland. So part of the land they bought had much of it as a wetland. So I think they were not very satisfied. But it was not a deliberate attempt. It was out of their own choice because we gave them options, they picked the other option.
Okay, so before they bought from you,
Yes.
how did this become a wetland? Because I'm very sure that wetlands are not, it's not, you cannot have a wetland as your land. So how did it come about?
Yeah.
Did you buy it when it was already a wetland, or the wetland found you when you're already
Let
in
me
place?
just say it this way. This land is in the neighboring of River Mayanja. I think you must know of River Mayanja.
When we were coming, I think
Yes,
I
yeah,
saw the River
yeah.
Mayanja.
So
Yes.
River Mayanja passes on the other part of the land, and for some reasons, it sometimes bursts.
Yes, just like any other river.
Yeah,
They had those
like
bursts.
especially when there are too heavy rains
Yes,
in
yes, yes.
Kampala and the environments. So when it bursts, it kind of encroaches on our land. And it's been happening over time, but now this has become a little more pronounced because of the heavy rains of 2019,
Yeah,
2020.
sure.
So now there's some constant flooding, but this wetland comes into place or into being as a result of the bursting of River Mayanja, which is water coming from Kampala.
Okay, so
and
the
area.
wetland that these neighbors, part of their land that belongs to the neighbors,
Yeah.
is a result of the river bursts.
Yeah,
So it
exactly.
finds you when you're already a landowner. Is the
Yes.
land titled?
Yes.
Well demarcated?
Very well.
Okay, so you already have your land title on this property, like you said, it's in clear names, and
Yes.
then this burst finds you that creates this kind of wetland flood
yes.
area.
So,
Okay.
Because much of the activity that happens around is animal rearing, so it would encroach on their land that their animals would be affected. They would not have enough area to graze their lands from.
Sure.
So they kept complaining that we gave them much of the land which was into a wetland, which was not our intention. But
Because it found you, it was
exactly,
nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as in the process of trying to sort ourselves out, because we are very liberal to them, we said, since the wetland is there and the land is there, we can agree on how to demarcate
Yeah,
such that
sure.
you are comfortable and we are also okay. But along that way, that's when they started the process of selling that to the person who was selling you. So now
The rich boy's son.
Yeah. Now this person comes with, I think he had been fed onto the rumors of how the agreement we had when we were selling part of our land. So this person comes with an intention of wanting to grab the whole chunk of land.
Inclusive of
because
your previous and the one that sold to
the other
neighbors.
was being under an understanding of selling. Ours, we are normally doing our things as usual until we now started
Rearing,
getting
grazing, and all
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
And we had some about 4 or 5 acres of trees. Actually, some of these were part of those trees. Surprisingly, this gentleman,
You just said there are 4 acres of trees. Approximately, what land are we looking at that still belongs to you and belongs to the neighbor, and this rich boy's son is trying to grab? Approximately, in total, what land are we looking at?
this part of ours is about 490 acres.
Approximately a square mile.
That's our part. Theirs is also 500 acres.
So that is.
So he wanted to grab the whole.
So entirely, he wanted to grab an approx of 2 square miles from the
Exactly.
entire village.
Exactly.
Wow.
So he found those trees that I was telling you about 5 acres of those.
The 5 acres of trees on your property.
On our property.
Yes.
And then my old man had some small house where I would stay whenever I would come this side. So he came and dismantled that house. He came and slashed down those trees.
Hold on a little,
Exactly.
James. So these rich boys son
Yes.
has come to this village where we are right now, and he has gone to buy from the neighbors who previously bought from you, rather.
Yes.
And then on trying to buy from them, he feels that he should take off the entire property. Whoever is in this village should go off.
Yeah.
So how does he dismantle these forests and the old man's house?
I think it was based on the rumors that was being fed on because of the misunderstandings we had with our neighbors. So it's like building on an old grudge. But we also were already working on a way of settling that dispute.
Exactly.
So what happens was this person clears the trees, cuts them down, demolishes my old man's house, and that's when I got noticed or notified about the dispute. So I summoned the LC1 chairperson, I summoned the neighbors.
You had like a village meeting,
yes,
to sort this dispute out.
including the police officers.
Oh, you have a
from,
nearby police?
No, it's in Bukomera, the sub-county.
Oh, there's a police.
So, but we summoned them, they also came, and we had a community meeting.
A community meeting, yeah.
So we thought we had resolved whichever misunderstandings that there was.
Okay, so in this meeting, the community meeting, at least you had deliberations in place,
Yeah.
like something ABCD is going to be done. What were some of these deliberations you had in this meeting?
Actually, firstly, before that, we put to them, and after some other 2 months, that file also again was missing.
Wait a minute, so we have two files missing on the same case?
Exactly, from the
Okay.
same police post.
Okay, did they keep missing entirely, or you somehow got saved,
that I
a
did not
savior
know,
along the
but
way?
of course I got to learn that this gentleman also had some inways to the workings of the police, of that police station. So probably could have compromised a few, and the files would miss. So around that time I realized that it was an effort in futility. I told the police that tell the person, whoever it is that is making this file disappear, that we can make as many as 1,000 of these.
You're a citizen of Uganda, you have the right to file as many
Exactly.
cases as you want. Yes.
Exactly. So I opened a third one, just to let them know that I have...
We are in months meanwhile. We are in
Yes.
about 4 months
Well,
now.
about 4 months, yeah.
Yeah.
But I told them from here, I'm heading to Kiboga because it's... I
Which
know
year is this that we are in?
it was about 2016.
2016, okay.
Yes. So I told them...
Okay, so we would like to know what happens. You know, it's interesting that this person at least was able to back off. Now, do not get intimidated, dear Ugandan. Kindly stand for your rights. The law is there to help you. James right here was able to follow the law, regardless of being intimidated. Imagine someone coming and demolishing this entire forest like you're seeing, 4 acres of such, demolishing an old man's house. But still, someone stood their ground, and they were able to get help from the police and from the courts of law. At least, finally, we see this gentleman being intimidated and backing off, and this is where we are at right now. Now, before we go for a commercial break, when we come back, we are going to tell you whether this person paid, or whether James has given up, or whether he's yet to take him on. Do not go away, so that we know how the story ends. And as well, we'll be bringing you the old man to tell us the entire story on how it went about, so that, dear viewer, you can be guided. But remember that we are proudly powered to you because of HK Properties Uganda. This is a condominium developing company that has enabled the housing deficit sector to come down. Call in so that you can be able to obtain a condominium apartment. The condominium apartments are known for being so secure and providing a very lovely environment to stay in. So kindly not miss out on staying in such serene environments around Munyonyo, Moyenga, Bukasa, you know, just close the CBD. 10 minutes, you are in town, and go run your errands. Kindly do not go away as we continue with James on your story right here on the Property Hour.
Lulu Residency in Munyonyo is the latest apartmentalized project by HK Properties. This state-of-the-art residency that has tipped the architecture scale in Uganda has 2 to 3 bedroomed apartments at modest rates. Scheduled payments can be arranged to fit your budget. For more information or booking, please call 0758 274 389.
Welcome back from the commercial break. Dear viewer, we are still here in Chibanda, Cell, Bukomera County, Kiboga District. We are bringing you a story that can help you know how to go about your disputes. First and foremost, something that we have learned tonight is let's stand our ground. Let's know our rights so that we are not intimidated by anyone in this country. James.
Yes, please.
As we wind up.
I am opening this file to let you know that I can open as many as 1,000, but I'm also letting you know that I'm no longer going to deal with you because you are indicating to me that you are unserious and you have no interest in this matter. So I'm going to the higher authorities. I know you are under the jurisdiction of Kiboga District, so I'm taking this matter to the police station of Kiboga, but I'm also going to now open another file at the magistrate's court in the Kiboga still. So when I went, of course I know how the law works. Now that the investigation did not take place, I summoned the agricultural officer and the environmental officer from the district, Kiboga, to come and make an evaluation of the damages made.
Oh yes, the other forest of 4 acres and
Yes,
the old
and
man's house
yes.
that were just demolished.
Yes.
Okay.
And they did the evaluation, and I think it amounted to about 200 million.
UGX.
Yes, as losses made.
As losses made.
So what happened was they put that file, the report, on the file, and I used that same report to open up a case with the magistrate's court.
Okay, so as far as the dispute is concerned, we have over 3 files missing at a police station, and then thank God that you knew what to do, so you go further to a police station of higher jurisdiction, and this was Kiboga Police, and then also you don't stop at that, you go ahead and still try to open up a file in court.
Exactly, because I had realized that I was wasting time, and yet this person was not relenting, by the way. Meanwhile, as all this was going on, he still was harassing the people on the land, and I think around that time my old man was around, was also being harassed. He was showing all intent.
So the entire village was in panic because it's this person who just comes and demolishes
and for
property
some reason
around
they would come
village.
around bossing with armored vehicles, with pistols, showing that I don't know how he would get those items, but he would come around and start bossing around on how he's going to show us whatever. So he was kind of intentioned. He was very, very well purposed
To do something
threatening,
of damage.
because he knew that if he threatens, and
you guys will back off and
will
run
back
away.
off. And actually, my old man was almost doing that. But I told him, just relax, leave this matter into my hands. I'll deal with it.
Okay, so James, before you deal with it totally, I want to know how, I want a viewer and a listener to understand how, because we have very many files here. We have 3 files the other side. We have a file at another police station. Then we have a file in court, because usually I thought I thought that as far as the law is concerned, some of this, it would be one file and it follows, you know, procedure by procedure, step by step. From police, the file is sanctioned. It is, you know, it goes to court. So I'm wondering, since there were criminal charges at hand, how did you end up solving these issues in different arms of the law? I would love a viewer to understand, because I wouldn't want them to get confused on the matter.
Of course, I had a backing of the local government systems, the LOC1 and LOC2.
Wow.
Because they participated in that meeting.
It's a powerful court. The LC1 court is powerful.
Yeah. So, and to them, it was a very clear matter. He did not have any evidence, even for the other part of the land that was being sold to him. He had not even finished.
We didn't need to be before the magistrate to see that at least this matter, even the LC1 court could tell that there was no evidence at hand.
So he did not have any locus, any area of argument to even claim ownership, even on the other land that was being sold, because the transfer had not effected. So it was a clear case of fraud and intimidation. So what happens is that I realized that the police was not helping me, but there was enough evidence. There were minutes, there were photos, there were video clips, because I would put their CDs with what transpired in that meeting. So I think he got notified about the report, the financial report of the damages. And he realized that I was very purposed and very intentional on taking this matter head on.
And you understood what you were doing.
Exactly. So I think along the way, he got intimidated. He realized that the steps we are taking were very well calculated. We are not confrontational with him. I would just call him to let him know that I know what you're doing. I'm not intimidated, and I know I'm going to challenge you in all ways possible. You can steal the files, you can do whatever you want to do, but the law is on our side. We actually, in any case, you are a criminal in this matter on about 3 grounds: trespass, destruction of property, and intimidation.
Yes, intimidation as well.
Yeah. So I think that report from the environmental and agriculture officers helped us a lot. It kind of, because he would get, I think he even had spies on the land. So he had some animals around, so I think he had people who would inform him. So whoever would come, he would get notified. So I think he got to know about the likely criminal charges and the amounts that are attached to it. I think along the way, he got intimidated. He realized that he was fighting a losing battle, and he started backing off. Actually, since then, around since 2017.
Wait a minute, before he backs off, what happens to the case at police and the case in court?
Actually, he had some animals, they were taken away. He had some few staff, they also moved. When he got to know about the
yes, I understand that he backs off. Yeah. But at what point, before he backs off, what happens? Because you remember the charges. Rather, you have gone to police. You as a citizen of Uganda, you would love to get help. There must be a conclusion to this matter. Either it is dismissed or it is whatever. There must be closure. So what we are trying to ask is, how did it end at the police and how did it end in court? Or is it still pending?
Actually, at the police, he was summoned by Kiboga police, and for some reasons, I think he kept dodging going there. I think the last time I was at Kiboga police post, they had put a summons to come and arrest him wherever he would be.
Okay.
And
so there was a warrant of arrest.
Yes.
An arrest warrant at Kiboga police.
Because he had missed on, I think, a number of requests to appear to give a statement.
Oh.
So I think it's around that time that he got intimidated and disappeared. I think up to now, he has never come back on this land.
Wow. So the fact that you went to police and the police asked this gentleman to come to police and appear, maybe perhaps give a statement, and he did not. Police went ahead to do its duty and, you know, issue a warrant of arrest to him. But he realized that the law was taking its course, and he realized that the people he thought were people deep down in the village, and he's trying to intimidate them. These people knew how to go about the law, and they end up following the procedures of the law. And then we have him panicking and backing off entirely on the ground. He doesn't come to intimidate you on ground. He doesn't come to demolish any other thing. And I mean, he backs off entirely, and you're peacefully staying on your property, just like we are here, and we are able to bring you the story. Now, dear viewer, do not go away, because we want to know what happened. For example, did he pay the damages that he did? We want to know, is it true that the old man's story was demolished? Because you're going to bring you the old man. What happens? Aren't you still worried and that this gentleman could come back and do the same story? Or now you know what to do, and no matter what, you're willing to take your ground?
I think I've always known what to do, and that's what I did exactly. But maybe I'm so sure, actually 100% certain, that he can never come back, because later he came and approached these people that he had given some money and reclaimed that money.
Oh, he had paid off some money to the neighbors to buy.
Yeah. So they were in the process of selling. But because he realized that it would make his life hard, even if he bought, I think he realized that it was a dead end. So he backed off.
He had a tough neighbor.
Yeah, it was not easy for him.
Yes.
We made it clear that he cannot intimidate, he cannot bully us. We are not kids, and we know the law.
Yeah, Ugandans. You have the Uganda. I mean, the Ugandan laws are very clear. They are protecting you over your property.
Even Ugandans come here and have a life. Exactly. Nobody intimidates them. So why would someone intimidate me on my own property?
Exactly.
So we made it clear, and I think along the way he realized that it was going to be very expensive for him, both financial and in legal terms. He backed off up to 2017.
Wow, you have been here.
We have been doing our work. Everything is normal. We have not had any other...
And you have done more developments on this property.
Exactly.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, James. Dear viewer, this was your story on the Property Hour. We brought you James right here from Kiboga to tell us how he was never intimidated. Dear Ugandan, do not be intimidated. It is your property. You have your rights. Stand for your rights. The law is here to protect you. As long as you have clean hands, you know it is your property, then you don't have to be intimidated. Just like from James's story, stand your ground and protect your property. It was your story on the Property Hour. Till next time, as we bring you the old man's story on the same matter.
The Property Hour is informative, inclusive, and up-to-date. Proudly powered by HK Properties. Up next on UBC, brought to you by
Keep the lights on. Use Airtel Money